It's the name of the series, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventures is weird. A series about people nicknamed JoJo, and a majority of them being related in some sort of way, use things called stands, which are almost always named after real-world songs or albums to take down some sort of villain. Each of JoJo and the story they are associated with are very unique and always bring something very bizarre to each part. It can be as simple as just introducing the concept of stands, or a story about a small town with a series of decade-long murders. JoJo's may share a lot of common, but no two JoJos are the same, except Josuke. Why are there two Josuke's? Well, that's a topic for another day. There's one part of JoJo's that stands out, haha get it, from the rest. The creator of JoJo, Araki, goes balls to the walls with this one. Hey, if I had a stand, it would be called Pursuit of Happiness Savi. This manga has the number 2 spot on my anime list, sitting on a 9.31 rating. Let's talk about the wild ride that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 Steel Ball Run. There will be spoilers, you've been warned. Up until Part 7, every arc followed a lineage of Joestars. It was always someone's grandson, illegitimate child, uncle, third cousin removed, daughter, whatever. Starting with Phantom Blood in the 1880s with the very first JoJo, Jonathan Joestar, all the way to Stone Ocean in 2011 with Jolene Cujo. Part 7 Steel Ball Run starts over that trend and goes back to where JoJo first started, to the 1890s in the good old Arceus Plus US of A. Steven Steele, a promoter in a partnership with sponsors, holds a multi-stage race across America called Steel Ball Run. It starts in San Diego and ends in New York City for a grand prize of $50 million. A total distance of 6,000 kilometers or 3,728 miles, broken up into 9 routes or stages. Steel Ball Run is unique in its concept since each stage rewards points and the champion is determined based on who has the most points at the end of the race. Each stage can vary in length. The first stage took racer Sandman only 18 minutes and 9 seconds, but the second stage took Diego Brando 18 days, 7 hours, and 24 minutes. It was predicted that 500 people would enter, but come on, $50 million. Convert that into 2024 money, that's $1.7 billion. Of course, everyone and their mother would enter the race. I would. In total, 3,852 people entered, and it didn't matter what you used. Participants used camels, automobiles, traditional horses, and even just their own legs. Out of the 3,852 racers, only 36 were named. Now let's talk about 2 of those racers that this story follows. Let's start with the JoJo of this part, real name Jonathan Joestar, but goes by Johnny Joestar. Wait, 2 Jonathans? Part 7 is basically a separate universe that shares similar things to parts 1 and 6, I think. To be honest, it's kind of confusing. Anyways, Johnny was an up-and-coming horse racing prodigy. My guy was the hottest shit around. Unlike part 1 Jonathan, who was down-to-earth, calm, and very collective, Johnny's kind of a dick, but not necessarily his fault. Him and his father, George, had a very complicated relationship. George preferred the eldest son of the family, Nicholas, but one fateful day Nicholas was killed and Johnny blamed himself for it. The father-son relationship got to the point where Johnny's father mutters, God had taken the wrong son. So when Johnny rose up in the ranks as a jockey, people of wealth, power, and even royalty would watch him race and give him the attention he craved. These fans would call him Joe Kid or JoJo. Johnny was living the dream until one horrible accident. Johnny and some random chick were waiting in line for some play. Of course, Johnny, being young and stupid, is easily influenced by this chick, bribes the bouncer for the first spot in line, and kicked this random kid out of that spot. As the situation grew more and more heated, the kid pulls out a gun and shoots Johnny in the spine. Johnny then wakes up in the hospital covered in his own matter, unable to move his lower body while his blood is being drawn without his consent. The nurse proceeds to beat the shit out of him while the nurse tells him the people who glamorized him, not even his own father, came to see him. He ain't shit anymore. Johnny lost all his friends, money, respect, and the ability to walk. Johnny shows up to the San Diego beach where the race begins. Johnny states, "For what reason did I come to this beach? Did I simply want to see the beginning of the race like other spectators, or was it nostalgia for the horses that were with me since I was young?" On that fateful day at the beach, Johnny encounters a strange-looking man, and when he approaches him, Johnny touches the steel ball and begins to stand for the first time in 2 years. Johnny now has the motivation to participate in this once-in-a-lifetime race and get answers from this mysterious man. Now let's talk about the other protagonist of the story, the Joe Bro of this part. The man, the myth, the legend, the fucking GOAT, Julius Caesar Zeppeli, also known as Gyro Zeppeli. Gyro hails from the kingdom of Naples and is born to the prestigious Zeppeli family, who are trained in the art of spin. The Zeppelis act as the kingdom's royal executioners. Gyro is cocky, over the top, he has grills or at least fake teeth that are engraved with Go Go Zeppeli. You know how much confidence you need to pull that shit off? Honestly, Gyro got that shit on though. Gyro is ready to throw hands at anyone that stands in his way. Despite his looks, Gyro is willing to help anyone who needs help. Unlike Johnny, who didn't have a reason to join the race, Gyro does. In the kingdom of Naples, a lord was found guilty of treason. His servants were found guilty as well, including a young boy named Marco. Gyro was disturbed by the false charges against a 9-year-old boy. He took it upon himself to appeal this charge, but the only way the king would give amnesty would be if someone would gain prestige for the country, like winning a famous horse race. Gyro took it upon himself to join and win the Steel Ball Run in order to free Marco from his death sentence. Since Johnny wants to find out more about the strange abilities of the Steel Ball, Johnny and Gyro form a partnership alongside their horses, Slow Dancer and Valkyrie. I can hear it already. What can Johnny do if he can't move his legs? It's JoJo, man. Of course Johnny puts that work in. Through the corpse, something I'll talk about later, Johnny develops his stand Tusk, which allows Johnny to spin his fingernails and fire them like bullets. Gyro relies heavily on his steel balls and the abilities of spin. He finally achieves what is called a golden spin or golden ratio, exactly 16:9. Here's an image of it. At some point, Gyro's spin energy manifests into a stand called Ball Breaker. With these abilities and as the race goes on, they are faced with countless opponents. It's a never-ending onslaught of battles and never-ending horse riding. So let's talk about a few of them. Axl Rose served in the American Civil War. He blames himself for the death of most of his company and an entire town during the war. In the most JoJo way, gets a stand called Civil War. Using this stand, Axl Rose has the ability to transfer all his guilt and pain onto others. His stand is basically a manifestation of all his guilt. This stand can also use the opponent's own guilt against them. JoJo and their stands get so creative and out there, like how do you even counter something like guilt? One of the reasons why I love JoJo so much. There's also Hot Pants and her stand Cream Starter, which is basically just an aerosol can that can generate flesh and allows her to manipulate her body through tight spaces and seal wounds. Alright, check out this one. There's also a tree named Sugar Mountain that also has a stand called Sugar Mountain. The tree puts the opponent to trials, and the trials determine whether or not you're worthy of the treasure or will pull your guts out. Okay, let's talk about arguably one of the coolest stands from this part. Diego Brando, also known as Dio, just like the other Dio in this series, they are virtually the same person but have slight variations to their story. Yes, they still have a history with Johnny. My guy Diego is considered one of the most talented jockeys of his generations, the favorite in the Steel Ball Run. My guy literally is the one to beat in this race. Alright, major spoilers. At some point during the race, Diego becomes a literal dinosaur, but in particular a Utah raptor. Diego was tricked and a stand called Scary Monsters turned him to a dinosaur. Through the power of the corpse, Diego turns the stand Scary Monsters into his own and can change into a Utah raptor and use the abilities at any time. Yeah, it's a simple stand compared to something like Civil War, but the design is so cool. It literally has Dio all over it and uses the same color scheme as Diego. Bro, come on, it's literally a dinosaur. It's so fucking cool. Again, it's one of the reasons why I freaking love JoJo. The stands and their abilities are so fucking rad. What about D4C? You aren't gonna talk about Dirty D done dirt cheap? Nope, I think it's something you should experience for yourself. This is why you should read Steel Ball Run. Last one, but big spoiler here, you've been warned. The real purpose of the Steel Ball Run isn't just a race. The race itself is a scheme developed by the actual active president of the United States of America, Funny Valentine, to find and collect the Holy Corpse. What the fuck is a Holy Corpse? It's never outright confirmed, but it's heavily implied the Holy Corpse belongs to Jesus Christ. Yes, that Jesus Christ, often referred to as the Saint in SBR. How, when, why is the corpse of Jesus Christ in the United States? Don't think about it too much, just roll with it. The path of the Steel Ball Run, the 9 stages all the racers go through for points to win the race, was actually planned out by Valentine to scan for parts of the corpse. The Saint was broken up into 9 parts, 9 stages, 9 body parts. It's all coming together. The corpse works similar to the bow and arrow from previous parts. When a person comes in contact with a part, it'll unlock a stand ability for that person. Several racers are aware of the corpse alongside Valentine is their true motivation to participate in the race. Not to win the race, but to get the corpse. What happens when the corpse parts are all put together? What power does the person get from a completed body? Why this crazy ass race just for a body? What does the president know? Well, again, that's why you should read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 Steel Ball Run. Outside of this bizarre ass story, it shouldn't be a surprise, but the art is phenomenal. Araki's just a master of what he does. The way the panels are drawn, character interactions, combat on horseback, it's so engaging. You may not like JoJo, but you can't deny how good the art is. One of the reasons I enjoy Steel Ball so much, and is probably my favorite JoJo part now, is because of Johnny and Gyro.
Tell him to go eat shit, Johnny.
Tell him yourself.
Eat shit, asshole! Fall off your horse!
It's standard JoJo stuff at first. They really don't know each other, stranger into friends, but it's the way Johnny and Gyro interact and engage that makes it like something no other JoJo part has had before. The closest we ever got was part 4. As the race goes on, they genuinely feel like real friends. They spend months racing alongside each other, telling stories to pass the time. Gyro's really just this goofy ass guy. He even makes up this random ass pizza mozzarella song for the fuck of it. Towards the end of it all, it really feels like Johnny and Gyro were more like brothers and knew each other for decades. Holy corpse, I freaking love Steel Ball Run. I know when it gets animated, people are going to call it overhyped, but trust me when I say it'll be your favorite JoJo part. Have you read Steel Ball Run? When do you think it'll get animated? Should I make more JoJo content? Let me know in the comment section below. This is Savi, and this has been The Vibes. Thanks for watching. Bye.